What is going on, everybody? AHS Rules back again with another video. I told everyone to have a safe and happy Labor Day weekend, and hell broke loose. Now, this is something that I've been dodging like this. Oh, I probably also should say, almost every time I do a video, I have like a different setup. I need to like come up with a straight up setup, but my room is a mess at the moment because I got a new desk and I've pretty much had to rearrange my whole room to just fit this desk, and I'm in the process of it, but I wanted to get this video out there and get it over and done with. But back to what I was saying, I have not straight up talked about this topic. It's probably been the hottest wrestling topic of the past year that is ongoing and will continue and continue and continue. And that is CM Punk in AEW. Now I will say this: I do have notes. I am holding them up. It really is just like, hey, don't forget to say this. Like, it's not really even notes because it's almost all opinion based. But essentially, the main reason I haven't wanted to talk about this whole controversy is because it's been very opinion based, rumor based. We don't know what's true, what's not true. So in this video, I will be saying apparently, maybe, rumored. I'll say that a lot just because I don't want it to be like, oh, this. And if I have something that is like straight up my opinion, which I obviously have a couple of those as my video, then I'll straight up say that. So, for now, this is the end of CM Punk in AEW as he was. What was the term? It was not fired. Fired was never the term. Released from his contract. They try to make it seem very nice. But as per the request of Who's Your Geo, who is one of the bigger CM Punk fans out there, he wanted me to, I told him, hey, I'm going to do this video finally because, again, like I said, the main reason I hadn't made the video, I said it already, it's just like a lot of rumor. It's just like, we don't know what's true. And I don't want to be that guy that's like spreading false information out there. But I've been dodging this for the past year, and now it's like, it's at the tipping point, but the flag has not been planted. I still feel there's something else that is going to come out of this, obviously. The aftermath, like, this is going to be ongoing until he shows up in WWE, which I think that would be the very last thing I talk about in this video. So, I will talk about the beginning. When CM Punk came to AEW, I don't know many, like, the only people that were mad were, like, CM Punk haters, which was fair, I guess, and whatnot, but a lot of us had been waiting for him to return. For 7 years, he was gone. How long? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 8. 8 years, wow. And that UFC stint, wrestling fans aren't UFC fans. There's some that are both, but it's just like, a majority of wrestling fans don't like UFC, so seeing him in the UFC, and especially getting his ass whooped, people did not like seeing that. But, like, it was a joyous time when he first came to the company. And I don't want to say that it was AEW's peak, but that whole month of All Out, where Punk had his first match in the longest time, they're in sold-out arenas. Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole debut. We had the Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks steel cage match, which was a great match. It was just a joyous time. Then they also did Grand Slam, which led to Danielson versus Omega. It was just like banger after banger after banger, as some would say. And it all started with Punk. And then Rampage started. And Rampage, in the beginning, I won't lie, unless CM Punk was involved, you could skip. And he became Mr. Rampage. I have that in my notes. Because a lot of his first matches were, I'm going to cut off promo on Dynamite to set up my match that I'm having on Rampage. So you should check out Rampage. And so that made it interesting. Then his first actual storyline was with Eddie Kingston. It kind of blurred the lines where Kingston, said stuff that a lot of people probably wanted to say, saying, nobody wants you here. I can't say nobody wanted him there. A lot of people did, but there's also a lot of people that didn't. And that was a great storyline and moment that led to real stuff. And then, obviously, probably the highlight of his run, it was the longest thing that he did there, the MJF rivalry. Now, me being a hater, I said before even the first time they interacted, the first promo, I was like, I guarantee you MJF's going to be the first person to bring up his UFC run, and he literally did do that. But they also brought up a lot of stuff in their promo battles, promo exchanges over the time period. But now, I won't lie to you, this rivalry feels undone. Like, that's what hurts about it. And that's, again, maybe it's recency bias and like seeing that, hey, they were probably going to have that third match sometime soon. I think by the end of the year they would have had it. It kind of hurts because the stories, they're tied 1-1, and then they went their separate ways at the end of the second match to tell two bigger stories that ended up falling flat. The Wardlow MJF story, like, I like Wardlow. Where the hell's Wardlow now? And it kind of like went all downhill after that MJF match. And then I will tell you now, I sped the F up because this is where everything went downhill for the CM Punk run, was Double or Nothing 2021. And I guess better fitting the go home show where Hangman Page goes off script and mentions workers' rights and triggers CM Punk. And just the way I've been like interpreting this now, it's like something that I don't think he should have been that bothered by, but obviously was. I feel like it was kind of like a TV show, like when like people were like, they can't, the phrase, they lose sleep over it. This feels like something that CM Punk lost sleep over that week going into Double or Nothing. And then the match happened. And again, I don't remember much about that match. I don't even remember, like, when someone wins the world title, especially in AEW. Jericho won the world championship. He was the first champion. Big deal, big celebration. Moxley, same extent. Omega, it was a bit chaotic because if you remember, Omega won the title and then he's like, I'm going to be on Impact. And that whole relationship started there. And then Hangman won it. It was a joyous celebration. Everybody came to the ring celebrating with him. Punk won it. It didn't feel like those same like celebrations. Him winning the title, it just, I don't want to say it felt forced, but it did feel kind of forced. But now it feels forgotten. Like, I just don't remember that moment, in my opinion. And then, like I said, everything kept getting worse after this. The Dynamite after, he has the tag match with FTR, which, small nitpick, I hate that. I think AEW mainly, they feel like their fans know everything on social media. To the people out there that strictly watch the TV shows and your news only comes from watching the TV show, you don't have any social media, and I imagine there's a handful out there. I appreciate you. Especially because, like, this weekend when this announcement was made, that you tuned into Collision, you're like, oh crap, CM Punk's not on it, and you didn't know about it hours beforehand, you probably shit your pants. But back to backtracking, unless you, like, followed them on Twitter and just saw posts like, CM Punk and FTR were supposed to hate each other. Like, that was the last thing we knew from, like, a TV aspect. So, that pairing, that's just a small nitpick. Obviously, it didn't matter in the grand scheme of things because CM Punk got hurt after that. And then there's the whole promo that confused everybody because he was like saying he was crying, saying he was going to vacate the title. And then it was like, no, it's interim. Which I don't know how people I think people hated it at the time, but now looking back on it, people didn't really care. So Moxley saves the day and becomes the real champion. I can't even say he did. Then hell breaks loose once Punk comes back and cuts this promo against Hangman Adam Page, which I won't lie, I think that whole segment, it was so chaotic that I've went back and watched it several times. It's probably my second favorite CM Punk moment in AEW. My first one, I'm going to close the video, like talk about closing the video. But that is just like so much happened in that time span where he called out Hangman Page. He said, not cowboy shit, coward shit, I think is hilarious. Then he calls out Moxley and just banger after banger of a line. And I was saying at that time, Moxley and CM Punk should be the biggest match of the year. Champion versus champion unification bouts, like, it actually meant something because unlike I'm comparing this to UFC because they have interim title, but it's just like a lot of times the interim champion very rarely becomes the actual world champion, so there's not really that much legitimacy in it. But this, what I'm getting at is like, it felt like it should have been the biggest match, and then they gave it away on Dynamite just to have an angle, which, again, something else. I like putting these little, like, side notes up there. Something that's very forgotten about. Before Punk came back the third time, there was that whole incident where he was saying that Tony Khan and I don't know why I specified Tony Khan, but Moxley and Tony Khan were like pitching for him to have this match even before he was cleared, and that could and potentially cause a messy situation down the line if it's ever like really looked into and really cared about. But I just feel that whole situation, they should have just waited to the pay-per-view. But what we got. I don't think it hurt the build or the buy towards the pay-per-view. Again, I don't like to talk about ratings or buy rates because I'm a fan. I'm not an expert. I do know a lot, so I am a self-proclaimed expert. But I don't like talk about that crap because it's like I'm participating in it. So, but in this video, talk about it. It makes sense again down the line. Now back to All Out 2022. Like I said, Moxley and Punk should have been the biggest match of the year. And the biggest match of the year, no fans got to see it because it happened after the show. Now we get to Brawl Out and all this crap. And again, this is the last time I say it. I haven't wanted to talk about this just because we don't know what has happened. But now I'm finally dwelling into it. I will say this. Since AEW has formed, I've always felt that there has been forced on wrestling Twitter, social media at least, AEW side and a WWE side. You gotta choose your sides, and I'm firmly in the middle. I watch both. I care about both. I want both to succeed. But the majority that I see is you gotta choose one or the other. But until All Out 2022 happened, I feel that has slowly went away, and it very much became you're either Team Elite or Team CM Punk. Now, the main issue that came abrupt was talking crap about Colt Cabana. Now, again, I'm not going to go into everything about this because it's been talked about hundreds of times. I'm going to only provide my opinion on it. I don't know many people in the actual industry and not fans that have much bad to say about Colt Cabana. Where, again, especially now, a lot of people have a lot of bad to say about CM Punk. But the main issue was saying that he got him fired and or moved to ROH. The thing that I always thought, CM Punk was coming in that company knowing Colt Cabana was there, knowing Colt Cabana worked there, and there was at least a brief window till we know that they had to be at the building, not necessarily at the same time, but they were at the same building on the same day, at the same time. I don't know how they arranged this shit. But they still worked there. When that ended specifically, I don't know. Maybe I could research it and pinpoint it, but that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But the main thing I'm getting at is CM Punk was accused of having him fired. I just personally don't believe that crap. Because he came there already knowing he worked there. And I, again, personally feel that Colt Cabana was looked at as, well, we don't really use you that much. And you kind of already, there's an issue that could possibly abrupt. Let's just go ahead and move on our ways. But like I said, Colt Cabana, I don't know many people in the actual wrestling industry. Fans, which I want to continue building on this, there's a great majority of who cares about Colt Cabana? All this crap is all about Colt Cabana. Are you serious? I'll have to say that a lot more down the line. It all started with Colt Cabana. But it's just, I personally never felt CM Punk had anything to do with it. That's just my opinion on it. Now, with everything else that came, it should have came to an end. And the last thing I'll say about All Out 2022, because this is something else that I actually did talk about when I made a video, Shooting the Breeze, returning soon by the way, talking about Collision. And I'm like, there's the rumor that the Elite might leave. The Elite might go to WWE, or I don't know why I specifically said WWE, but might leave. Might be ready to move on. And I always said, if you're the person in charge and you have to choose between the Elite, which I'm going to specify in saying Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, I'm not even going to include Hangman Page, or CM Punk, you choose the Elite. And I'm going to use a basketball analogy. If you play 2K and you're in the franchise mode and there's the trade machine, when you put somebody on your team on the trade machine, it shows their star value. I would say CM Punk has the highest value is 5 stars. I'd say CM Punk has a 4.5-star value. Maybe even 4-star. The reason it's not 5-star is because of the injury history and age. Where now it comes to the Elite, you got the Young Bucks, who I would say they have a 4-star value at most. Both of them, but that's 2 spots being taken up. Then you got to add in Kenny Omega, who definitely has 5-star value. Again, maybe if you want to like include the injury history, it's 4.5. But majority, the main thing is you got 3 guys here who have such high value versus 1 guy here that has high value. And if like again making the best comparison NBA wise, I'm like you're trading LeBron, who, again, is old and has injury history, but you're trading him for Giannis. Yes, I'm comparing Giannis to Kenny Omega and Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. So you're giving up those 3 for LeBron? I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't do that. Also, it would be a terrible look for your company if 3 of the people that helped founded it left after the other guy that helped found it, Cody Rhodes, had already left, especially all if it happened in like a year span. So that's the last I'll talk about All Out. Then CM Punk got hurt again, which, funny enough, because I was just now talking about it. And then, I won't lie to you, this whole year until, like, Collision actually started has now felt like a blur, because it's just mainly been rumors and talking and rumors and talking. And each day now, we get a different rumor involving CM Punk. Today's latest rumor is that he wanted to leave to go back to WWE to face Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Do you believe that? I want to know how somebody knows that something specific. I don't know. I bet the rumor tomorrow is that CM Punk was mad at the production assistant because they had a brown shirt. I don't know. I'm just making up shit now. That's just kind of how I'm feeling this crap has went. A rumor that has came out recently is, and it kind of alludes back to All Out, is that CM Punk has wanted to meet with the Elite to apologize. And again, this is another thing that is, in my opinion, I feel that kind of means that CM Punk probably initiated and did a lot of damage in that brawl that happened, if he's the one wanting to say sorry. I don't know many people that got beat up that apologized for getting beat up. So this year happened. Let's just fast forward to the modern stuff, the stuff that's on the top of my brain. And CM Punk came back for Collision. And I won't lie, I am a bit scared for Collision because they're going into the dreaded college football season and they don't have their big star in the ratings. I will say this. I don't know what it will take for a show to get canceled. And I don't really want to know. I don't want Collision to get canceled. I love Collision because it feels like such a slowed down traditional wrestling show where compared to Dynamite, it's so fast paced. It's like we're going to try to get as much stuff on here as we can, where Collision is slowed down and it just feels a bit more traditional wrestling type of stuff. And now the rumor is that Danielson's going to take charge, which I appreciate, and I love Danielson. Danielson's a better wrestler than Punk. I don't know anybody that would argue that, but it's just like from a rating standpoint, especially now with more competition, how's the show going to fare? So hopefully we never know that, but let's get to this latest incident. I know I'm forgetting something, but there's just so much that happened in a 2-year span, but we're mainly just focusing on like this last year. It is a bit funny. And I always say, this is one of my many sayings, behind every joke is a bit of truth. And a lot of the stuff shouldn't be funny, but it just is. So CM Punk, also, I knew I was forgetting something. So I'll get to that later. I'll get to it later. Ryan Nemeth. Just remember the name Ryan Nemeth. So CM Punk and Jungle Boy got into an argument or a problem initiated because Jungle Boy wanted to use glass. Now I know we're in wrestling and we're supposed to put our pretend caps on, but glass, that's what we're going to argue about. I don't know what happened in this first argument. I feel the first argument has kind of got swept under the rug because there was no fisticuffs, where the second time around there were fisticuffs. But this all started over glass. I remember when I was in school, I didn't get to like a fist fight over it, but I remember there was one day when we were in math class, 10th grade, and me and this guy got into like an argument, and the teacher was out of the room, and somebody asked, "How are you supposed to solve this math problem?" And I told that, I'm pretty sure it was a girl, and I told her how the teacher said to solve it. Where this other guy bumped into it and was telling how he said, and I'm like, no, this is how you're supposed to solve it. And so it didn't, like I said, it didn't lead to a fist fight, but it led to an argument. And then somebody else was like, y'all arguing over a math question, and then why y'all argue? Why y'all argue? And then somebody butted in that they argued over math. So like the start of something could be extremely stupid and lead to something serious. Like I said, mine wasn't. I didn't go CM Punk mode. Let's just go that far. Nothing was ever really worth that in school. But now back to this. It's just, I find it funny and a bit stupid that they fought over glass. Now, I will give Jungle Boy a lot of credit, and yes, he's still Jungle Boy to me. I do find it funny that he did say that line on the buy-in, and CM Punk was watching the buy-in, and then a fight. It's just like, there was such a tight window for all of this to happen that, again, I just find it funny. I know it's a serious situation, but I find it funny. Now Tony Khan comes out and releases a statement that he was the most scared that he's ever been for his life. And he's been involved in wrestling or things for 30 years. I feel there's probably, I don't know what he's went through and whatnot, but I don't think he got any sympathy. Now, I will say, like, for innocent people that were in the way, I ain't laughing at them, they ain't got nothing to do with it. They try to do their jobs. Also, I think the most credit, again, I know the rumors like Samoa Joe's the one that broke it up. And the way I imagine him breaking it up, and I know they both probably didn't have shirts on, but I imagine Joe breaking up, just grabbing them both by the shirts and moving them. Because that's Samoa Joe for you. But this is what led to this coming to an end. And I'll say this. CM Punk, I'm trying to look through my notes to make sure I haven't forgot anything. And like I said, Ryan Nemeth. So, since CM Punk came back, and I said this in one of my ROH reviews because I was talking about CM Punk, but it was an ROH-related subject. I was like, CM Punk is trying to create peace by causing more problems. This Ryan Nemeth incident where Ryan Nemeth made a tweet and then CM Punk went up to him, I'm like, are we serious? Like, nothing is ever that serious. Unless he, says something that is, a threat. And again, I'd imagine, comparing to school, you probably should tell somebody and not try to deal with it yourself. Because if you deal with it yourself, it's going to cause more chaos, which, spoiler alert, that's what ended up happening. But it's just like, when this rumored Ryan Nemeth situation happened, a lot of the people were like, really? Ryan Nemeth? Who cares about Ryan Nemeth? Who wants to watch a Ryan Nemeth match? But I'm like, this was said about Colt Cabana. This was said about Ryan Nemeth. You might think I'm joking. I definitely saw people saying this about the Young Bucks. I never saw it get to the extent of Kenny Omega. That would be crazy. Young Bucks, slightly crazy. Now we're at Jungle Boy. Then there's reports that he didn't want Christopher Daniels and Matt Hardy on Collision, which I understand from. I also didn't even talk about Ace Steel in this, but I feel Ace Steel is pretty irrelevant, so I'm not even gonna try to jump into that situation now. But the Christopher Daniels one bothered me because if you watch the straight shooting interview with CM Punk and Samoa Joe, he speaks so highly on Christopher Daniels. He has such a personal relationship with Christopher Daniels, and I'm like, I don't know what Daniels specifically did that would ruin that. Besides doing his job as well, that just rubbed me the wrong way. But it's just also the main point I was making there is I named 5 to 6 guys that people allegedly didn't care about, but they do care about CM Punk, the big caboose, but I'm like, why are we continuing to build this list? Why, if this side is the problem? So, should CM Punk go back to WWE? I imagine, I don't know off the top of my head who he would have a problem with, a la a Colt Cabana. Very forgotten and not brought up is he was backstage at Raw earlier this year. There are pictures of that. That is known. I also do find that a bit funny because it was a couple of days after Collision was announced. And again, a lot of the rumors that he's just like there to like meet people we know and apologize to people, and it's just like, that's a bit suspicious. I wouldn't mind it. CM Punk is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Spoiler alert. If you would look above at this very top shelf, I'm not moving my phone. It's it's a bunch of CM Punk crap. But it's like over this past year, he's gone lower on the list. I won't lie about that. I will say I'm also mad that he never appeared on ROH. But there's a lot of old ROH alumni that haven't, so I can't be strictly mad at him at that. Should he go back to WWE? I wouldn't mind it. I think if you want to make the most money off of it, you would do it ASAP, because while everything is like so fresh and noteworthy and newsworthy, just jump right into it. But for safety reasons and just mentally, like, calm down. Just like calm down. Take time away, because you jumped right into wrestling, and it was not even just like professional. You were wrestling every freaking thing. Politics, wrestling, just injuries. There's just like so much chaos that happened in these 2 years. And especially with how the WWE last like 2 years in WWE went, I would take time away. Just don't even worry about wrestling. But, if you want to make the most money, you would jump right into it. But that's just me. So, I do thank CM Punk for his 2 years in AEW. My favorite CM Punk moment in AEW, obviously with Sting, being such a big Sting fan, that trios match where it was FTR and MJF versus Sting, Darby Allin, and CM Punk, and that team's all dressed up. It was such a great moment. I go back to watch that entrance all the time. My second favorite moment, like I said, was the not cowboy shit, coward shit promo, because I find that hilarious. So, CM Punk's run in AEW, hilarious, but hell. I guess that's a good catchphrase for it. So, again, I thank you for it. You were kind of in the wrong in a lot of the situations, but, you was right some of the time. So, long story short, thank you, Punk, for your time in AEW. I personally don't think the door is closed, but I would not try to open that door for a long, long, long ass time. Let AEW... I would just leave the door alone. Just go to another door, If you want to go back, you can, but, I wouldn't. I would. I'm a hypocrite there. I said it. So, I just kind of wanted to, talk about this. This is a hot topic in wrestling. And, I feel there will have to be a time where I have to jump right back into this topic, but I just wanted to, get this out there now. So, this is going to be a busy week on my channel. I'm planning on it, because tomorrow I plan on doing a Shooting the Breeze. Long time since I've done one of those, where I do my NFL Week 1 predictions. And then Thursday, we will be talking more AEW, as I will be doing my fantasy booking, how I would book AEW Wrestle Dream. No CM Punk on that card. Friday, as always, ROH TV review. And then Saturday will be my Packers franchise mode, episode 3, which I've been uploading them on Sundays, but this week is the actual start of the NFL, so, I wouldn't think it'd make the most sense. Yeah, I just kind of want to have my Sunday free, so we shall see. So, hopefully everybody stays safe. Thank you for watching this video. Please watch the other videos, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.